Local school districts are the entities in charge of deciding when schools open.
We miss our children. We miss being in class.
If our interest is in saving lives, we should do our best to ignore our Attorney General.
The best place for them to be safe is at home.
You can't do online learning if you don't have connectivity.
Some teachers and staff have decided not to come back at all.
Local teachers from Harlandale ISD voicing their concerns of returning to school during a rally this afternoon.
Safety comes first. Our lives come first.
Is it safe? And if it's not, when is it going to be safe?
It's not safe.
Welcome to a KSAT special event, Learning During a Pandemic, a town hall where over the next hour we will be answering your questions about the upcoming school year, addressing the uncertainties and talking about the tough choices that parents, teachers, students, and administrators all face. If you've been with us for the last half hour of the 6 o'clock newscast, you saw the Q&A. Two local superintendents joined us.
Yeah, we're continuing that conversation here, also bringing in a student, a teacher, a lawmaker, a researcher who used to be a lawmaker, and we want to hear from you. We have a live chat feature on our website where you can submit questions right now. We're getting some great questions already. You can find that on ksat.com.
The back and forth about how to kick off what will certainly be an unprecedented school year, it's been confusing over the last several weeks and months. So before we kick off our Q&A, we want to take a step back to show you how we got to where we are today.
The constantly changing guidelines for this upcoming school year have been hard to follow, even for those who do it for a living. Krista Torralva, an education reporter with the San Antonio Express News, says she spent much of the summer keeping a lookout for when the state would issue guidance to local school districts on reopening campuses.
We kept on hearing that they would release their guidance, in June and then July and then later in July.
The matter wasn't exactly settled even when the rules did come.
After weeks of waiting, the Texas Education Agency releasing guidance for reopening schools across the state.
The state originally, when it did release its guidance this month, said that the school districts needed to open up for families who wanted in-person learning. Well, there was a lot of backlash to that. And
that initial requirement mandated schools open classrooms after a 3-week transition period or risk losing state funding. But a week after the TEA released its initial plan to reopen schools, the agency then issued an update.
Typically, schools fall under the authority of the state of Texas and local school districts, not the city of San Antonio or Bexar County. But today, the Texas Education Agency announced that the local public health officials can decide whether to keep Texas schools open for in-person instruction this fall without risking state education funding.
Mayor Ron Nierenberg announced the creation of a task force made up of students, teachers, parents, and other experts with the purpose of helping guide local schools on how to reopen safely. Then, just a couple of days later,
the Texas Education Agency updating guidelines for the upcoming school year today. Districts can now postpone in-person learning for the first 4 weeks of school.
And if your area is still really bad, then you can apply for an additional 4 weeks of remote learning for a total of 8 weeks. But then that's it.
Locally, with new power given to the department by the state, San Antonio Metro Health issued a directive prohibiting face-to-face classes until after Labor Day. Then, 11 days after Metro Health issued its order, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton stepped in.
Today, Attorney General Ken Paxton weighing in once more. In a statement, the state attorney general says local health authorities, quote, may not issue sweeping orders closing schools for the sole purpose of preventing future COVID-19 infections, end quote.
Shortly after Paxton's announcement, the TEA updated its guidance to say that school districts will lose funding if they keep classrooms closed because of a local health mandate. School districts are still allowed to keep campuses closed for a total of 8 weeks with the TEA's approval. Then Governor Greg Abbott stepped in, saying that decisions on when to open campuses to in-person learning will be left up to school districts.
I understand, both sides and how and what they want and what they feel like they're losing by being remote. And I think that the educators feel the same way. It's just hard to balance. How do you bring those families back in safely and also consider the safety of the teachers?
And while the debate is raging on, district leaders are scrambling to keep up with the changes and adapt.
Some school districts are saying, you know, there was a plan back in June and then we scrapped it to abide by the TEA's guidelines. And now with this change in the guidelines, we're revisiting those plans. We're pulling them out of our, digital trash can, dusting them off and starting all over again with those plans.
So that's how we got to where we are today. Where do we go from here? Let's introduce the panelists quick. SAISD Superintendent Pedro Martinez is staying with us. State Representative Diego Bernal from District 123, who is the Vice Chairman of the House Committee on Public Education, is with us. Malina Espiritu Azocar is an NISD teacher. She has 2 children in NISD. She's been a public school educator for 14 years. She is also with us.
And we also have Mike Villarreal, former state representative and current director of the UTSA Urban Education Institute. And our youngest panelist with us this evening, we have Alejo Peña Soto, 17 years old, a high school senior, a student at Thomas Jefferson High School, and also part of the San Antonio Community Alliance for Reopening Schools. Thank you to all of you for being here. All of your perspectives uniquely important to this conversation. Alejo, I want to start with you. We have heard from so many officials, if you will, over the last weeks and months. I think a student perspective is so crucial and so unique. So what are you bracing for as the start of school approaches? What are some of the things about remote learning specifically that you know will be challenging or that you think you learned from in the spring?
So I think that there's a couple of big problems that we as students are going to be seeing in the future coming up. A big problem across San Antonio is equity in schools, and I think that this is just going to exacerbate that. And our student coalition in SAISD surveyed students on how they felt about returning back to school in the spring when digital learning first opened. 47% of students said that it was too much work for them, and only 16% of students said that they were properly engaged. Now, the mental health aspect of going back is also going to be a very big issue, right? Our student to counselor ratio in Texas right now is 1 to 400. And it's just, I don't know how students are going to be able to receive the proper help that they need to deal with their mental health issues and just being engaged in schools, really.
How about for you personally? Your thoughts on back to school 2020?
So I'm pretty scared going back. I know that it is my senior year. I wish I could go back to schools, but I just don't believe that it is safe enough right now to go back to schools. As we transition into this new normal and as we kind of come down from this huge spike, I still feel like our districts may not be in the best positions to handle these returns to school properly. And I'm just concerned for the health of the people that are going to be most impacted, our teachers, our staff, the grandparents of students when they return home after going to school in person.
Let's turn to our teacher and our panelist this evening, Malina Espiritu Azocar. Let's talk about your perspective. I mean, yours is critically important here. Are you heading back into a classroom to do remote learning? Will you be doing that from home? And what do you think are going to be the biggest challenges of the year?
Sure. I think there is a real fear and a worry from both teachers and parents, and I can speak to both of those. I think what we want is information and transparency. We want to know and understand safety guidelines and precautions, but we want the sanctity of life and health to be in the forefront of the decisions that our districts are making. And we want to be part of this process. I think that's the biggest thing. We want our voices to be heard, and we want to be part of the decision-making process. And there is a fear. Teachers are, I think that teachers in other school districts have already gone back to school. We are being asked in my district to report into the building. And I think what we would like as teachers is we would like the choice, especially given in the red zone right now, to ensure our safety and to be able to teach from home. And I think that we showed from March through June that we had the ability to teach from home. And I think we can certainly do that at this point right now too.
Are you concerned that you're going to have added duties on top of just teaching our young people, that you're also going to be in charge of antibacterial wipes? You're going to be in charge of, cleaning the classrooms in addition to education.
Well, I also think that part of it is that we're not really sure exactly what the plan is, and we're waiting to see what our districts are going to provide us as far as the plan is. But yes, I mean, we're certainly concerned. We wear many hats as educators, and I think that as a teacher, I'm very concerned about what is going to be the expectation moving forward, and I'm also very concerned about how we really are going to be able to keep our students safe from a virus that we cannot see. You know, we've been asked as educators to keep our kids safe from many things, even from an active shooter on our campuses, but we cannot keep our kids safe from this virus.
A lot more in this conversation to be had. We are just getting underway. And as a reminder to everyone watching this, we're taking your questions. Go to ksat.com, submit your questions there. In our live chat feature, we'll get some of them asked here. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Welcome back. State Representative Diego Bernal, also one of our panelists. He represents District 123. He's the vice chairman of the House Committee on Public Education, raised in San Antonio, went to Thomas Jefferson High School. We have a couple of mighty Mustangs on this panel. So, Diego, your reaction to what you've heard so far when you hear a teacher and a student talk about their concerns about going back into the classroom?
It's frustrating. And of course, you know, I worry about them. I'm a dad. I've got a daughter who's enrolled to go to an SEISD school this year. And so we worried about the same thing, but it's frustrating because we've watched the state go back and forth and change its mind and sort of bungle this. And now we don't know exactly what's supposed to happen or how it's supposed to work. And we're looking ahead to 8 weeks, but I suspect that if things don't change around the state, that we'll get new guidance to go after that. And as a parent, if you're an educator, if you're a student, it's hard to keep track of it. But on top of that, it feels like there's a requirement that we set our sights on something and then have to change it at the last minute. And what we lose in that is uniformity. So as you mentioned before, we can't have a regional approach to health and safety. It's got to be done district by district, which sounds smart, except for the fact that within our own city, there are 17 school districts right up against each other. Not having a regional approach makes no sense. And then on top of that, the idea that in situations now where Pedro and Brian are trying to figure out how to bring teachers into the buildings now, there's not uniformity there. So what's happening in Northside, what's happening in SEISD, what's happening in East Central are all different from one another. That breeds zero confidence among teachers and parents as well. So I think we need to get a better handle on this, but the problem for a lot of us and people in my situation is that we're spectators. We're watching the governor decide, but we're not at the table pulling levers or pushing buttons ourselves. We're reduced to having to advocate on behalf of the people we represent, but not make decisions. And that's been difficult, both as a lawmaker, but even more so as someone who cares about teachers and has a student himself.
Let's hear from the governor. We know we've heard a lot of back and forth over the last couple of weeks trying to clarify the stance on who will be making that final decision on who goes back to school. I believe we have a soundbite from Governor Greg Abbott. Let's take a look at that.
The bottom line is the people who know best about what both the needs are in their school district, as well as the capabilities of providing a safe learning environment, the people who know best about that are the local school officials. Extremely important. Local school officials have access to information provided to them by local public health authorities. And local school districts can base their decisions about when and how to open their schools on the advice of those local public health authorities.
Unfortunately, this already very complicated issue has in some ways gotten political. So, Mr. Martinez, Superintendent of SAISD, I want to pose this question to you because at the end of the day, now we know that it is up to school districts to make that call on returning to in-person learning. What resources are you using to make that decision? What data are you looking at? I know we've heard you say decisions need to be data-driven before. So how are you making that decision?
So the first thing is we can't have arbitrary dates. We can't say, well, children will come in person in a certain week. It has to be driven by medical data. So we're using the same medical data that San Antonio Metro Health is using. Dr. Wu is actually working with her on a daily basis. And so we have released a similar level system as the city with red, yellow, green, and then we added a blue, which is really what could happen if there's a breakthrough and if there's a vaccine. And really in the red right now, which is where we're at right now, and I agree with both Alejo and Melina, right now in the red, we don't want to have children coming into our schools. We want to make sure that our buildings are ready, that our classrooms are ready, that we have all of our procedures in place, that our students, our parents understand them, our teachers understand them. And trust me, and that is 1,000 pieces of information we're managing through, especially in a district where we have 100 buildings, we have over 3,200 classrooms. And so that's number one, is using the medical data. The other thing is, giving us the time so that we can reduce the anxiety. For valid reasons, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety in our community, whether it's our teachers, our students, or our parents. And so one of the things that we need to do as school districts is be able to bring in our teachers, our parents, our students, and say, here's all of our procedures, here's what we're doing, and give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. If we're not ready, let's just say that we're not ready. So for example, we're having on a voluntary basis, teachers are coming in starting on the first day of school next week. It's all voluntary, 40% are coming in, and they're going to be our safety committee. And every single school, they will tell us, because we have a 50-page document, but here's the thing. Until teachers actually test out those procedures, they'll tell us whether it's realistic for a 3 or 4-year-old or a 16-year-old to be able to implement those kind of procedures. They got to give us opinions on the PPE, on the equipment that we're having. And so again, it has to be with that kind of data. When we go into the yellow, one of the things we said is that we will allow children to come in, but again, it'll be up to 25%. It'll be gradual. It'll be 4 to 6 children per classroom. It might be 1 day a week. It might be 2 days a week. Even then, I want our students and parents to come into the schools and see what we're doing. And I want them to feel comfortable. And I want any child, whether it's Alejo or anybody else who wants to stay remote, we want them to stay remote all semester and all year. And then really what I want to learn, Alejo and Melina, is how do we make it better for students? Because we know that remote learning works for some students, but not for all. So how do we do that? One of the frustrations that our teachers had during the spring break is that when the students were doing remote, and this is probably tying to Alejo's data, the survey that they saw, is they couldn't help the students when they were struggling because our buildings were closed. They couldn't bring them in person. And so in the yellow, we can start doing that gradually and slowly. When we get into the green zone, and that's a very high bar. In order to get in the green zone, you have to have doubling time for cases has to be significantly long. Positivity testing has to be 5%. We haven't been at 5%, folks, since May. May was the last time we were down at 5%. We're at 14% right now. The state is over 20%. We're a long way from that. And we also have to have a downward trend in cases. We're starting to see a plateauing, but it has to be downward for many, many days, at least 2 to 3 weeks. And so we're far away from that. But what we want to do, even when we get into the green zone, We want to make sure our teachers are ready. We want to make sure that any children that are coming in, they are ready, that our parents are ready. This will be a very gradual process. It has to be step by step, has to be driven by science, has to be driven by people's legitimate fears and anxieties being reduced. And if we can't do that, then we got to wait. We have to wait. And so that's the challenge, but it's going to take all of us. And it isn't a straightforward answer. You know, when people say, well, stay remote the whole time, that's not driven by science. Bring everybody in all at once. That's not driven by science. We have to make sure our decisions are driven by science.
Great. All right. And you talked about data, and you talked about the anxiety for students and teachers and parents. Dr. Mike Villarreal has some new survey statistics that he's going to share with us after the break.